Hello guys, hope you're doing okay. Today our topic is going to be respiration and it's really interesting topic that you should definitely learn about this. So let's get started. First we're gonna go with the releasing energy. So every living cell in your body needs energy, and the average adult has about 50 million cells. That's a lot of energy. Where does all this energy come from? Where do we find energy? In body cells, the energy needed for life comes from the chemical energy stored in glucose. What does the body need for releasing energy? It needs glucose and oxygen. Glucose is the fuel supplied by the digestive system. Oxygen is supplied by the breathing system. The body's energy releasing process depends on the digestive system and breathing system. Glucose and oxygen are transported around the body by the circulatory system. Blood flowing in blood vessels takes these important substances to where they are needed, the body cells. Alright, so aerobic respiration. Respiration is the process used by the body's cells to release the chemical energy stored in glucose. When oxygen is involved in this energy releasing process, it is called aerobic respiration. What do you think aerobic means? Aerobic means with oxygen. Aerobic respiration is an efficient process that generates enough energy to supply the whole body. Our bodies perform aerobic respiration most of the time, as long as the supply of oxygen remains high enough. Aerobic respiration releases energy that is useful. This process is a chemical reaction between glucose and oxygen, which also generates waste products. For example, take a test tube of lime water, a clear liquid. Then blow gently through a straw into the lime water. After a short time, the lime water turns cloudy. So lime water turns cloudy when carbon dioxide passes through. What does this test tell you about aerobic respiration? One waste product of aerobic respiration must be carbon dioxide. What about second waste material? What happens when you breathe out onto a cold pane of glass? Or what happens when you breathe out on a freezing cold day? Water vapor condenses into a liquid and becomes visible. What does this tell you about aerobic respiration? Another waste product of aerobic respiration must be water. Aerobic respiration is a chemical reaction that takes place in living cells, in which glucose reacts with oxygen to produce carbon dioxide and water, and stored chemical energy is released. As you see here, glucose and oxygen are getting into the chemical reaction, and the waste materials are carbon dioxide and water, but the energy we use in our body. When it comes to other respiration, okay, the other one is going to be anaerobic respiration. So let's get started. During running, the body's energy needs are high, and so the rate of respiration increases to meet this demand. How does this affect the amount of glucose and oxygen needed? So high energy needed, high rate of aerobic respiration, high demand for glucose and oxygen, fast heart and breathing rate. So whenever we need a lot of energy, so remember that our demand for glucose and oxygen increases, as well as our heartbeat and breathing rates increase as well. Under these tougher conditions, the body has to work hard to supply enough glucose and oxygen to the body's cell for aerobic respiration to produce enough energy. Sometimes during strenuous exercise, the breathing rate and blood flow are not able to deliver enough oxygen to the body cell. Oh, how does this affect the release of energy? If the body is not able to supply enough oxygen, aerobic respiration cannot take place and energy is not released. The body still has a supply of glucose, so how does it continue to get energy? When there is not enough oxygen, energy can still be released from glucose by another type of respiration called anaerobic respiration. During anaerobic respiration, glucose breaks down into a substance called lactic acid and some energy is released. Like glucose is broken down to lactic acid and a little bit of energy. What do you think anaerobic means? Anaerobic means without oxygen. Anaerobic respiration involves the incomplete breakdown of glucose and so releases less energy than aerobic respiration. Our bodies can only release energy without oxygen for a short period of time. Anaerobic respiration is useful to the body when energy is needed in a hurry. There are two problems with anaerobic respiration. First one is anaerobic respiration releases much less energy from glucose compared to aerobic respiration, so it's not productive. Lactic acid is poisonous waste product. That is the second problem. Why is anaerobic respiration not the best way to get energy from glucose? So, let's find out why lactic acid is poisonous. Lactic acid is the product of anaerobic respiration, as we learned, and it's harmful because it can stop muscle from doing their job. If lactic acid builds up in muscle cells, it stops muscle from contracting and relaxing, and they become fatigued. That is the reason while we are doing exercise, we have got muscle cramps and our muscles are aching. So the muscle ache and the body experiences cramp, which forces the body to stop what it is doing at rest. Why can anaerobic respiration only be carried out for a short period of time? So, after anaerobic respiration, the body is in recovery and must get rid of lactic acid. So, how it does it? The body is now at rest, but the breathing rate and heart rate remain high. So, even though we stop exercising still for a short period of time, our heart rate and breathing rate are still high. So, why does this happen? Oxygen is needed to get rid of lactic acid by turning it into carbon dioxide and water. So lactic acid also needs oxygen to be broken down to waste materials such as carbon dioxide and water. Why do the breathing and heart rates return to normal after a few minutes of recovery? Now, the last part. During aerobic respiration, muscles get energy from glucose by paying for it with oxygen. You know that from aerobic respiration, glucose get into reaction with oxygen as it creates the energy, water, and carbon dioxide. During anaerobic respiration, muscles get energy from glucose but do not pay for it with oxygen. So, glucose is broken down itself. This means that an oxygen debt is created. When and how is this oxygen debt paid off? The oxygen debt caused by anaerobic respiration is paid off during the recovery period of the exercise. It is the oxygen needed to get rid of lactic acid that pays back the oxygen debt. So lactic acid then get into reaction with oxygen that we have taken during the rest time, so it can be broken to carbon dioxide and water. So oxygen actually paid off. So that was it, guys, our topic about respiration. We learned about releasing energy, aerobic and anaerobic respiration, what is lactic acid, why it's poisonous, and what is oxygen debt. Hope it's going to be useful for you. So subscribe to my channel and stick around. Bye bye. See you.